just before the video starts and everything, I just want to say that this is using the Daz 2Q plugin. It's I'll leave links in the description and everything. It's a great plugin. He does these walkthroughs that are written. I'm just doing it through a video. It helps him out, me out, and it's just an amazing plugin. And then you also need Houdini. It's not a cheap way to do this stuff, but I'm telling you that this way is the best way I've been able to get a character from Daz to Houdini. So hope you guys enjoyed. If you do, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and all that good jazz. Follow me on Rumble. Hello everyone, Sacred Sage here, back with another video. This time we're going to be getting this female Daz character to Houdini and then also to Unreal Engine using the Daz Studio plugin, which is completely amazing. So first thing I do is like get your character in here. You don't need your hair or eyelashes. I already deleted that. I'm currently have Golden Palace with the 2 shells and then HD nips from 3 feet wolf is what I currently have. And let me go ahead and go back on this one. You can use Breastacular, but I found that the HD is nips is from 3 feet just works so much better, especially when you're going and dealing with clothing. So as soon as this thing is done, I'll get started. All right, so select your character. We want to hit the control button, double click, turn off the limits, hit accept. It's going to add frames. I got my guide over here because it's been a minute since I did the whole thing. Right now I have all my morphs and everything saved, so I can just load a character, throw in the morphs, and keep rolling. We need to select the mouth and do the same thing. Yep. Yes, we do. Just get that off. Mouth, control, double click, turn off limits, accept. And then we have to work on the Golden Palace. Another thing to note is on frame 0, you want your character to be at its resting position, right? So that's going for GP's resting spots on both in back, the front and the back. Okay, I know when you load it in, they leave the back open. If you catch my drift, so you want to get your shapes and everything prepared before that. Before we do this Golden Palace stuff. So we have now 616 frames. We need to add a frame. So say total to 618, like so. Then on frame 0, we need to take the base, edit. Where you at? Figure, memorize, and memorize figure. Yep. Boom. Now we got to go to frame 617. What this does is it makes sure that at this frame it's back to this original position of the character. So then we do edit, figure, restore figure, and it's going to take it a second to do its thing. And once it's done, we add all the frames for Golden Palace. Does take it a minute. There we have it. So now we want to select Golden Palace. And we need to go back into Daz Studio, wherever you be. And we need to find that's being here somewhere. Is it in common? There it is. Golden Palace and 9. Now this one we just double click. We don't have to hold control button. So you do like this, it's gonna add more frames. You just say yes, and as you can tell, we're way up here now, like 700 and what 20. We have 721 frames. That is correct. All right, so you can go and change quite a few of these ROMs or range of motions. I particularly just keep them all at the base, and I just add some extras at the end, which I already have saved as well. So I'm going to just add those because you have to make sure that whatever you change gets zeroed on both the frame before and the frame after, and you got to double check, and it can be a pain. So let's see. So I also have a list of morphs that I will be adding, and this is my morph list that I keep, so I know what to name them, what to do, and all that stuff for when we get over into Houdini. And it might be a good idea for you guys to do that as well. So I'll go ahead and go through these range of motions, and then at the end I'll just add mine and we'll export it. So Golden Palace selected, we're going to do edit, figure, memorize, and memorize figure, just like we did. Hold on, I'm wrong. Frame 0, then do it. Memorize figure on frame 0. Okay, now we need to go to frame 617. So down here, what I'll do is I will just say 617. It'll take me there. And then we do edit, figure, restore figure. And this is doing resetting to the default for Golden Palace, not the character. Now we got to do that for a lot of other frames now. So let's go to 712. Edit, figure, restore figure. Then we got 716. Edit, figure, restore figure. And then 19. Edit, figure. Oh yeah, restore and restore figure. So those are the frames that you're going to have to do. There is another step, but I'm going to add all my other frames in before I do it, and that's we got to change the type. It's this thing right here. So I'm going to go ahead and it's going into like the art directing and stuff. So like for frames 7, 13, 14, and 15, it's like open, squeeze, stretch. I'm not doing any of that. I just keep them how they are. It works for me anyways. If you want something different, you can, go right ahead. And then they do the same thing for the anus and all that stuff. And I'm not going to go into that while I'm recording. I'll get everything how I want it. When you want to add, let me go ahead and show you how to do this. Okay, so let's say you want to add another frame. Let's go to number 720 for instance. Let's go into parameters. Actually, let's do 719. It'll be a better choice. So let's go back one frame. So 719. If you change anything, shape, moving, whatever, morph, it doesn't matter. You have to make sure that everything goes back. So let's select our character, and let's say you want to add a smile or something. Where is it? Over here, posing. Let's say you're gonna do head, expression. It doesn't matter. Let's say this one right here. Let's say you want this as a morph, right? You have to go to this frame, which is 718 now. Make sure it's at 0, right? That's 100. And then now we're on 720. and you need to make sure that it's at 0 again. Now, when you're doing, let's say, movement ones like breast left, right, I came across this problem, or both. So with those particular ones, when it's up both and does 2 morphs, I found that you have to go back a couple of frames. So you need to make sure that each frame is just for that morph, or it's going to mess up once you get over into Unreal Engine, and you won't know until you're already into Unreal Engine, and then you got to do your exports out of Daz again and Houdini again, and it's very time consuming. So this is the most important part, in my opinion, because you can waste a lot of time by having a messed up basically morph. So I'm going to go ahead and cut to when I have all my morphs. All right, I'm back. I got all my frames done. I got 72 total, but 771 frames. So now we're going to do the last little bit that we got to do, right? So you need to take, stupid cat, you need to take select there, go all the way down, just select it all, and then we're going to come up here, right click, select all items, keys, filtered. It's gonna take a second. And now we're changing this little interpolation type to linear. And after this is done, we can begin the export. So we're gonna start exporting, which is very time consuming. Is the longest process. Like right now, about to come back to this character, I got all of this saved, right? So I just get the character and I just start exporting rather than having to do the whole 9 yards, right? So here we go. We got the character, and we're going to do well, first things first. Always got to check for the view stuff. So let's go to parameters, and for example, if we click on HD and we go down right here, you see how it says view level 1 and then 3? They both need to be the same. I just do that to 1. These don't matter. This needs to be, make sure that it's at 1. It starts at 1, and then let's get the. We don't got to worry about that. But let's see. You don't really need, because we're gonna be making our own eyes over in Unreal Engine, so we don't even really need to mess with too much around in here or worry about eye color or whatnot. But I still go ahead and make sure that all this is good. Go to the character. Uh-oh, not that. Not currently used. There we go. Let's see how this is at 4 and 1. Let's change that to 1. Now we can begin. So let's go ahead and file. And I'm going to do the Maya portion first. We send to Maya. I would suggest having all your folders in a little section on your desktop, because you're constantly moving files. So I got 6 folders on my desktop, and one's for Maya, one's for the Sagan exporter, one's for the Daz Hue, one's for Houdini, and one's to the Unreal Engine, so that I can keep track of them, because you can lose track really quick. So we want to make sure that this is animation. I'm just gonna take out that at part. We want to bake subdivision, click that, and then right here is your vertices and the counts, estimated count that it's going to be. We have all of ours set to 1, so we want to make sure that it's all set to 1. Oh, it looks like we have eye reflectors. Let's go back. Oh, I don't need that. Not in Unreal Engine anyway, so boom. But it always pays to double check. I always forget about the eye one, because it's not on the actual character. So let's go ahead and go back in here. Eyes 1, mouth 1, golden palace 1. I even put these at 1, even though they don't even have 1, but it works, so it doesn't break anything. As long as it works, that's what I'm gonna go with. So now we got them all set at sub 1, and since we did it at 1 instead of 0, times 4. So as you can tell, there's a lot of vertices. Let's go ahead and hit accept. and that's it. Except make sure don't do this. Don't try and do morphs this way. Do it through the range of motions. And now we wait for it to do its thing. I don't think this one takes very long to actually export, but the other one, the next one, is the sagging one. Now, that does take a minute once it's done. Yeah, there. That one doesn't take long, but the next one does. So we have that, and I got a character folder for the purposes of this video. I will show you guys how I do my setup. So I got these folders right here, and let's go to Daz Studio character, and I'm gonna make a folder for Sakara, and I'm just gonna keep that. Let me X out of that. Let's do, oh, I should have kept that open. These are the files that you're gonna be getting from the Maya, and I have a shortcut, so I go right to my Maya. Now we go to Sakara. We take all of this, throw it in there. And we're going to do the same for the next export. So let's go ahead and do edit. Right here. Sagan, Albrick, exporting. If you don't have these installed, you have to install them. Not doing a tutorial on that. At least not yet. Want to make sure that the frames are right. Start frame 0, 771. Okay. We do not need right emitter empties. I have no idea what it is. It's just, I just follow the guide, and it's how they do it. Someone a lot smarter than me has already figured this stuff out. I'm just giving you a visual on how to do this. Yeah, we switch it from Maya. See, we untick this one and then tick this one. Change this object to in, and we choose a directory, which I'm just going to throw it in SAG. I'm just going to click right there, select folder, and then export. Now this one's going to take a lot longer. As you can tell, it's already jacking up on the time, so I'm not going to sit here and waste all your time. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this and pick up once it is done. All right, so the exports are now done, so I'm going to go ahead and go to that. I'm just going to minimize that. Actually, I should probably close that out. I think I will. But first, I need to move over these two files that you see right here. They also need to go into our character. So let's go ahead and get to Sakara. And then right where all this is at, we're going to throw those in as well. And now that is done. Now, as you can tell, the file sizes are quite large. So, yeah. I didn't realize how much space I did not have until I started this, but it is what it is. And we're going to go ahead and take Daz here, and I'm just going to X out. Do I want to save? I don't think I made any changes, so sure, that'll be great for when I start moving over close. So we'll wait for that to close down. Actually, no, we don't, because we got this open already. So now we're in Houdini. First thing you want to do, make sure everything's installed. Daz to Hue. So click here. You want to add Daz to Hue. It'll pop up some nodes over here when it is done. Just gonna double click that real quick, and then, wrong button. Go ahead, get in there. All right, and we're gonna click this little eyeball like so. We're gonna name the character Sakara. Forget her last name. I gotta figure that out. Might have to give her a last name, but I got so much time to do that. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. We're gonna go to where the folder is at. So I saved mine all in the Daz Hue character, all that folder where we threw all those files, which is right here. And we got two different options. We got the bfig base and the bfig. We always want this one. This we do not need. So go ahead and click accept. And it's going to pop up some stuff here. And then we do the same thing. Click here. It automatically remembers where we just last went. So we want the DTU file for that. So we're gonna go ahead and hit accept. Character should pop up now. There it is. And then right here at the character Albrick file, we want to go ahead and click that. And that big massive 4 gig one right here, Maya, and we click accept. That's our frame. Our frames will show up now. So there. So we officially have the characters in here, but there's so much work to be done. And the most important thing for right now is matching up all of this stuff. Everything should be going green. As you can tell, it is not. So let's go ahead and get started on that. first thing we want to do is Albrecht cleansing. Just scroll down, Albrecht cleansing, click the little plus icon, and we want to delete isolated, and these points will go down massively. So now it fixed all of these, but as you can tell, the points, parameters, and shapes are still not together. So delete from FBX. We want to take off the 2 shells that we got, Golden Palace. So there's 1, there's 2, and it is a little slow. It's because of all the, I noticed the more polys and stuff that I got, it gets really, really, really slow. We also want to take out the left eye and the right eye because we'll be making our own eyes and eye geometry. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, from the Albrecht, we want to take out, scroll all the way down. We're doing the paths now, where it says at path. We want to take out HD. We want to take out the shell for Menorah. We want to take out the Majora. We want to take out Golden Palace 9694. And now our shapes now match. Now once we take out the left eye and right eye, which we took out on the other one, it should match up if we did everything correctly. So left eye, right eye, boom. So everything is golden and is looking awesome. So we are now done in this node, in the import node. So let's go ahead and go over to the skin node. We're going to click that little eyeball, and then we're going to create a shape. I'm just going to call it Sakara again. You can say Sakara body or whatever. You're putting all the shapes for this, but I'm just going to leave it as Sakara because when it gets filed and the materials won't be named Sakara body and then this. So I'll just leave it as Sakara. Now group shape, we want Genesis 9, eye, mouth, and tear. Cool. So now we are done with the skin. Let's go to skeleton. Click the little eyeball. We're taking this character to Unreal Engine. So we're going to go down to Legacy Presets, and we see GP9 UE5. All right. Now all of that is done. Let's go ahead and go into materials. Click the little eye. This is where we're going to be spending the majority of our time today, in a Houdini. So I want to get really up close here. Probably even closer. Yeah, something roughly right around there. Because we've got to check on the eye geometry. So the eyeball geometry, what we're going to do, because we're using a Genesis 9, we're going to use the moistures. So the left moisture, and it's going to take it a minute to populate, whatever it does, loading. I want to say populate per se. And now, as you can tell, this is turning white. See, this little line is not matching up, but that's okay. We're about to fix that, right? So I'm going to get really up close. And then a lot of my other characters, you'll never have to mess with this one or this one. It's only this middle one. And this is messing with the UV of the eye. A lot of my other characters are 2.99. So let's start there and see if that makes it in the middle or not. I think we might have a winner chicken dinner. I think we do. Yep, that's going to be... Sometimes this can play tricks on your eyes, but it looks like it is just fine and dandy. A lot of them are this negative 2.99 or 3 or whatever. There's only one other character that was not that. But anyways, we're also going to use the eye oculus. I personally think it gives it a little extra touch. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. I'm going to auto populate the parameters and leave it at that. There we go. Now it is done. Let's go over to materials and then auto populate the materials. Do you wish to auto populate textures? I do. So now it's going to be getting it together, baking, making all the textures of everything that we have put together so far. All the maps, yada yada. And there's some that you can combine. We will be combining some stuff just so that it takes up less space and also is easier on your PC because it's not loading as many textures. Other notes to remember is I am in Unreal Engine 5.6 right now. This method that I'm doing works for only Genesis 9 5.5. It's a different way you have to do it if you're using 5.4 or lower. So let's go all the way back up to the top, and I'm just going to start minimizing this stuff. So fingernails, I'm just going to rename nails. And I've done this so many times, I actually know the Houdini and don't have to really look too much on that on the guide. So I've done this a lot. We're just going to add the toenails to nails, and now we lose a texture. Oh, I guess I could scroll back so you can see what's going on. So as you can tell right now, we have 21 materials. We're trying to knock down some of those materials. Mouth cavity can go to head. Arms, head, body. This is for Golden Palace, so we're just going to name it genitals. And all this stuff we're just going to add to that. Bam. Watch the materials start shedding. Yeah, you can just combine all of them when it deals with the Golden Palace because they all use the same thing. So we're already down to 15 materials. So chest is for HD nipples. What I do is I'm just going to add that to, well, yeah, body. There it is. And then we have breast left. I just take off the L. Just leave it as breast. And then I add the right to the other one. All right. Right eye. I'm just going to say it is eyes. Mouth says teeth, goes to the mouth. The tier, I'm shooting to the very top. So you click that button, and it goes up to the very first of the line. And then left eye can be joined with eyes. As you can tell, we are down to 11 materials now. And then the eye oculus. The eye oculus always has to be above the tier. That's why I sent the tier first, and then the eye oculus at the very bottom. So now when we come back up here and we look, eye oculus is first, tiers is second. Doesn't matter where these two are particularly at in this list, but tier has to be below eye oculus. That's the only stipulation into this. All right, now that we are done with that, let's go to the UV. This can be a little bit tricky. So we're going to be adding a bunch of channels. So this is channel 0, as you can tell. We're going to be adding an operation. Yeah. And then we want to move to first UDIM. All right, done. Now let's add another channel. This is going to be channel 1. 2 channels in total, but this is channel 1. We're going to add 2 operations. The first one is going to be move first to UDIM. Then the second one is copy from GeoShell. We want this preset to be Majora. Make sure it's Majora because we are messing with the UV levels and everything. So if you try and do the other one, the Menorah, and we get to Unreal Engine, it's going to mess up. So make sure that channel 1, copy from GeoShell, is Majora. All right, going to add another channel. We're going to add 2 more operations. Move first to UDIM, and then copy from GeoShell. This time we will do the Menorah, like so. And we are now done with that. We can skip all of these and go straight down here to the pose asset. This this is where we add in all of our poses and all that stuff. So I actually have a preset, so I do not have to write all this stuff out, but I will go ahead and explain and show this because this takes the most time in Houdini, because you have to, each individual frame that you add, not what Daz Studio adds, because he already has that programmed as a preset, but anything you add is going to have to be entailed into this. So what you want to do is hit this gear, legacy preset, and go all the way down to right here, G9 linear Unreal Engine 5 JCM FAC, and you want to select that one. I, however, am not going to do that. I'm just going to, I think it's that one. If not, it's the other one. Doesn't matter. And what it does is it saves all of these. As you can tell, frame. So let's go all the way down. If you want to add frames, so let's start there. You want to add some frames. Right here in the Gen group, you just click on that and it will make a new grouping. And a grouping is like, well, like this. It's just another file basically. And then let's say this Gen right here has 12 frames in it. So and then that's how they do the grouping. And then after those 12 frames, the next group pops up. So now we got this group, 630, and it just keeps on going. So you're just creating one of those. Let me scroll down here and I'll show you my created one. 21. Yeah, frame 21. So this is the one that I created. I got 30 different morphs that I have added. And what you can do, because all this will be blank, you can actually like just click here and then do, or actually you don't even have to do that. You can just do frame redown, and it'll be like, oh, what frame do you want to start at? And you just put, like for my instance, it's 721. So it named every one of them and went down. So that makes it a little bit easier. And then each one of these is named, and that's the reason why it takes so long, is because you got to name each and every one of these. Make sure there are no spaces. You must use the underscore if you do want spacing, not an actual space, because Houdini will error out otherwise. All right, so now that we are done with that, actually I want to check one final thing. Make sure that it is all good and golden. See, and that's why I check everything. See, this thing ended at frame 750. There we go. That's the one I needed. And this should go all the way down to 771, just like that. Okay, so now that I got the right preset, got to make sure, or it'll error out. And let's go to the export, get the little icon going over here, move this over. We're going to select where we want to save. I have a spot that's perfect for it. So I go to desktop, I got a little thing called Houdini to Unreal 5. Unfortunately, I did not make a folder yet, so let's go up one spot. I'm gonna minimize this. Houdini, then go bam, Sakara, like so. Close out of that. So now I will go to, where you at? Houdini to Unreal 5, Sakara, click accept. All right, character, that's all good. We got to go to pose asset. We want to export gen pose asset animation. That's how we're going to get our morphs for Golden Palace. We also want to have export pose asset names. So tick that. Skeleton curves. We want export skeleton curves as so. All right. And that is everything. Now we can export, but first I'm going to save it. So file, I'm going to save as, go back to desktop, Houdini projects, Daz Hughes character, and I will just name this Sakara. There we go. Accept. It is now saved, and we can begin the export with selected options. So this is going to be generating morphs. It's going to go on and on. It's probably going to take roughly around 20 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that. But once that is done, I will meet you over in the Unreal Engine portion of this. So I'll see you then. All right, it looks like I am now finished doing the export, and we are in Unreal Engine now. I'm just got to do a little bit of organization. You want to stay organized when doing this stuff. So what I do is I have my characters in my characters as so, as you can tell, and we're going to make a new folder. Call it Sakara. And because it will annoy me if I don't, change the color of that. Now, in here, I'm going to make more folders. So let's do BPS or BPs. New folder, call it textures. New folder, call it materials. New folder, call it skeletons. Because we're going to put our skeletons in here. Everything that we're going to need, we're going to be throwing in here. So let's go ahead and do import to folder. This is not what I got to do. So we'll do what you want to do is right here where it says all files. Change that to FBX skeleton meshes. Bam, just like that. Now we go here and click on her. That's a large size. I hope this actually works. Normally when it's a large size like that, I jack something up. But it's not as large. I seen them up to like 400. That was only 165. All right, it finally decided to load. So this is the menu that's going to pop up. All we have to do is keep that the same. Right here under skeleton, click the little down arrow. Yeah, it's running pretty slow right now. So you also want to make sure that import morph targets is ticked. And then we want this one, SK mannequin. Wait for it to semi catch up right there. Still didn't load the image, but that's okay, I guess. And that's it. So import. This might be unticked. That's the only one you have to tick, and then change that. So go ahead and import, and wait again. All right, it finally decided to finish importing, so we got everything over here now. So we still got one more import to do. First thing you're gonna do is you see all this. These are all your materials. We're gonna be making our own. So I'm just gonna go ahead and delete all of these. So bam. Wait for it to delete, and then we will do our next import, which is going to be for the gen asset. So let's go ahead and do right click, import the folder. This time we want to switch it to animation, pose asset. And then this one right there, click open. It's going to take a minute. There we go. All right. And then it's basically the same thing. We don't even need the meshes, so we can go ahead and untick that skeleton, SK mannequin, and that is it. Let's go ahead and import. Of course, autosave is going to happen right now. Really bogs and slows stuff down. That autosave, I swear, happens like every 30 seconds, it feels like. All right, cool. So now we have our gen pose right here. And we will be fixing that up here momentarily. So those are our skeletons. So what we're going to do now is we're going to actually start working on the materials, right? So if you go to Daz Studio, and then you go to, I believe is it mannequin? No, but we're gonna be needing this one right here. So if you want to copy that and then paste it where the skeletons are at in that folder, go right ahead. I'm gonna do one that's already done. There's not much to actually do. I'll show you when I make it, because we have to still open it up and do the pose asset and stuff. What else are we gonna need? We need the materials, so we go common, materials, and then skin. So you want the material instance, not the material. So go ahead, and we're going to be needing, I think it's this one, and we're also going to be needing this one. Yeah, we in the layered folder. Yeah, we're gonna be needing this one right here, the material instance. So you go ahead and copy that and paste it over there. I guess I will too, just so that I can show you. I already have one that's already set up. So what you can do is, once you do it once, you can just keep using that same material and just switch out the maps. So let's go ahead and grab that. And I'm gonna throw right here B, and then we'll start working on the other stuff. So let's go ahead and get our textures in now. Wherever you're at, where you at? This damn thing's getting way too big. All right, so here's our textures. So go to the folder that you saved at, Houdini to Unreal. Then we'll go to Sakara. If we look at textures and then source, we got a lot of different textures. So for this, I'm not going to be grabbing all of it. I grab one material at a time, just so I stay organized, because there's some maps that you don't need, and depending on what type of golden palace you're using, you might not you might have to do a little bit extra, but I will show that once we get over there, because there is a secondary texture map that you can do once we get everything in working order. So I'll go ahead and move over. We'll start with, I guess it really doesn't much matter. Well, oh shoot, I forgot about that. We also need the tier and the other one. So let's go back to the Daz Studio. I already got one over there, and it's real easy. So common, and then materials, go to eyes, and go ahead and copy this one, copy this one, and this one. We're gonna need all three of these over there as well, and throw those into the material folder. I'm not doing that because I have, like I said, already got one done, but you have to do no changes whatsoever. You can mess with the eyes though. So let's go ahead and go to BP. No, not BP. We'll assign the ones that we have and see which one's on the first list that we can do. And I do this, the reason why I keep reusing these textures is just to save space. No other reason beyond that. Okay, so we got material slot right here. Oh Lord, does it not? Oh boy, I shouldn't have deleted that. Oh wait, it does say the slot thing right here. Hold on. There we go. Okay, I got worried there for a second. So the Oculus and stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply the Oculus and stuff, because I already got a material over here. So I just reuse what I can. So here's the Oculus, and you just click on that. Dear Lord. And then click on this button right there. Oculus is applied. Next up is the tier. what's that one's gonna be is this lacrimal fluid, and then just add that. Okay, so we got nails. Now what nails is just like a, you know, naturally nail color, right? So I'll open this up to show you what I did. I make my the own fingernail polish, so it's nothing crazy. So I will Control C this. Control V. Rename it. Now I'll open it up and show you what I did. When you open it up, well, I got to show you how to do a brand new material too. So it's going to be the same type of setup as this. So let's go ahead and get into that. I'll change the nail color in a moment. Okay, so we're going to start with legs, right? So that works for me. So let's go ahead and bring over our folder. What does our legs pertain to, right? So we have this map, we have the roughness map, we got, oh, is that the hands or the feet? This is the feet, I'm sorry. So we got the regular, the roughness, SSS, and that's it. So there has to be like a body for the map up here, right here, legs. So we're gonna take, does have a unique body one though. We're gonna take the legs, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm just dropping them over into the textures. It's getting imported, as you can tell. Cool. So why did that happen that way? What the fuck? All right. So we got the textures there. Now we just need a material. So what we're gonna do is go to materials. Let's see. Create material instance. You want to do the material instance, and I will say Sakara legs, and you'll see it is completely blank. So the parent, we want it to be the Daz Studio material. Okay, MDH skin. Oh, that's the material. Material instance. So this is what it's going to start out as. And as you can tell, you can do a lot of work and different things with this. But before we get started on this, we need to go back to our textures. So this one's fine, right? But if you have anything like this rough map right here, we have to change this to a grayscale. So instead of default, what we do is we go to grayscale. Oh, Lord have mercy. And then we got to untick this. Save it. Okay, only opacity or mask blends modes currently support. I don't, okay. I might have picked the wrong one. So let's do base color. Tick that. Tick that. Tick this. And now it'll open up this, which we then again tick, and we take this leg and we throw it right there. Notice it got really green. All right, so now we got, go ahead and minimize that. Now we got the normal map. So bam. And then I'm not sure why I don't have to do like 14 ticks on that one, but I don't. And we throw the normal map in there. All right, what else do we got? We got the roughness map. So tick, tick, and then tick. And we throw the roughness in there. You can kind of see the lines going through there now. All right, cool. So The last one that we have is the SSS, and this is where things can kind of like be different, and I believe that falls under the specular. So let's go ahead and tick all of those, which gives it that shine, but you can adjust if it's too much or too little. And then, oh, that needs to be grayscale. Interesting. Okay, it's not a problem. We do the same exact that we just got done doing. All right, and then now that that is done, go ahead and save. Have this selected, and then you can see legs right here, and click that. Oops. And now, as you can tell, the legs and the skin is now good. And that's all it is to it. Now, this has to be done over and over and over and over again for each one of the materials. So to make it easier, and this is what I was saying about like the whole like copy paste thing. You don't got to keep on copying that thing over there. We got one over there, right? So let's see, what's the next one? The next one is arms. So just hit Control D for duplicate and just change legs to arms like so. Let's go ahead and open that up. And then over in textures, let's put in our arms. So right here is our textures of arms. So 1, 2, 3, and then we got arm right here. Let's throw those in there. Let's go ahead and grayscale like we have to do, right? Now we'll do the specular one. Save. Disallow on static mesh. It's not a static mesh though. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. Go back to materials and you see the one with the arms. And now all you got to do is arm, put there. Arm, there. This one is the specular one. Then roughness. Save. See, it's a lot quicker now because we already got that first one done. So let's go back to the materials. Click on the arms. Plop. And now her arms are done. And I'm going to go straight down the line and end up changing out all of these. So I'm just going to go, like I said, just go straight down the line. The only ones that might be a little different is this. And if it is, I'll let y'all know. And then the last one we'll work on is the gens one because there's a lot more work to do on that one. But let me go ahead and catch up over here and do this stuff while y'all do. Oh, about forgot nails. So how the nails work is I basically use the same things over here. Oops, did I close it out? Okay. So the nails have their own as well. Right here's the nails, but if you don't want to use that and you want to use a different color, you can actually just assign a color. I might actually use the orc nails to be honest, because she is a little different, not like a human. But if you do want to just change the color like this, you can go to the base color, and you can just, instead of doing, you can say, instead of doing the color texture and then doing this and adding all this, you don't have to do that at all. You can untick that, and then you can just pick whatever color you want right here, base color, and you can just change whatever, and it still has the roughness and all the other stuff that you like right here, the maps and stuff. So easy peasy lemon squeezy. All right, now with that bit of information, let me go ahead and finish these rest of these materials. All right, so my power went out and I already got this material set up, and it's saved, but then while I was recording, you know, I lost the footage. So I'm going to go back over through this again, step by step, so that it's, yeah, I already went over it, but you know how it goes. This is how it is sometimes. So let's go ahead and jump into this. This is that material instance I said to that we needed to copy and paste over. Also got to have, oh Lord, get my guide over here ready as well for when we do this. I think I can pretty much remember. So first thing is, first we go to background, do this, skin. Now this can open up, and we want all of this to be what our body is, right? So we go to those same textures. Yep. It's a lot of ticking. So there's that one. Here is the normal map. The specular. Then the roughness. And I believe that is done for the background. So what we need to do now is we're going to name this Majora, because it is the first layer, right? So let's go ahead and do that. The layer, we're going to put skin again. Blend, we're going to do the DTH skin. It's the only option there, so not much explaining to do or involved in that. So this is going to have to be on UV1, not UV0. And then we do the base color. And all we're doing is this is for the Majoras, right? So we got these right here. So go ahead and plop that in there. GP9 map. Oh, there is no specular on one of these, I believe. Yes, no specular on this one. There is on the other one. It's not this one. So this one's just going to leave blank. You don't have to have it on at all, but I'll do it just so that there might be a little bit of a shine. And then we got the roughness. The bump map, same difference. Boom. Now we got to go. You can have a secondary layer, by the way. So here's the secondary layer, and you can enable that and tick this so that there's two layers. See, on this particular one that I have this extra one right here for wrinkles and stuff, but that's neither here nor there. I'm not going to actually make that. And also, I think it would go, that wrinkles might actually go under here, but it might want a different map than what that actually is. Or is it the color? Looks more like a D map to me. Interesting. But yeah, I'm not even gonna worry about this. Go ahead and turn that off. And then we have to go down here to the blend. Now the blend, the UV, we want to set it as 1, the same as the above channel, right? But background, leave it 0. Do not touch the background's UV. Keep it at 0. So for the mask, let's go ahead and hit our mask spot, and then we will put in this for the Majora, like so. And now we need to make a second material layer. So this little add element, we'll go ahead and click on that. And then we'll just name this Menorah. And we're going to do more or less the same thing, except one slight adjustment. So put that DTH skin on. Then for the blend asset, we're going to do the MLB, Major League Baseball, DHT skin. And then we're going to do the whole thing once again, except for here. The UV for this one is layer 2. So we need to have it set to 2. Now, for the base colors, we can go ahead and apply all the Menorah stuff, which is this. So there's that. Come on. Throw that in there. Now, this one has a specular, but it doesn't have a roughness. So I'm going to do just the opposite. There we go. Then for the blend, UV 2, mask, and it's this one. Each one of these maps, it still needs to go through the grayscale. The only one that does not have to go through the grayscales are the normal maps and the D maps, where it says like map D. This is more or less the same things. Those don't have to be grayscaled, but this has to be grayscaled. The opacity's got to be grayscaled. All that still has to be grayscaled. All right, so I got that selected. Let's go ahead and apply it here, and you see that it has changed. I did make some adjustments. So let's see if it works. So come over here to the materials, and you can see tutorial, which looks a lot like the other one, right? And then, I can close that out. You go to your character, you go down to the gens, and you can apply it like so. And as you can tell, it fades in really well. I'm not sure about all that green stuff. It looks like they tried to add some, I don't even know what to make of it, but that's your skin. What can I say? But yep, all that's working and looking okay. So we got that perfect. So now we can move on to the other chin stuff. We're almost there. Little by little. So let's go over here to skeletons. We brought all this in, if you remember correctly. Let me go ahead and do a quick save as well. So what we're looking at right now is that Gen Pose asset and also a Daz Studio thing as well. That DTH that I told you to copy over from, which I will show you as soon as this thing is done. Say, I don't know why it takes so long to say literally one thing, but here we are. All right, so if we go to Daz Studio, go to Comet, we go to, is it Comet? What is it? Mannequin. Yeah, so if we click on mannequin, go to Gen 9. We want this one right here because we're using linear. So copy that over, paste it. And if you've done that, then you're already a step ahead. So then we want to go into this. So we open this up, and what we're going to do is create asset, create pose asset, current animation. Now save it something meaningful or whatever so you can recall it, right? So I'm going to go ahead and Where's my character at? This. Go into skeleton. I always keep like the SK mannequin, then I'll just put at the very end, just put Sakara. That's what I do. Click OK. Now, if we go back to that folder that we had over here in the Houdini to Unreal 5, so something we're importing from into Unreal Engine, we go to pose asset right here, gen pose asset name. You can double click it and it brings up this right here. Control A, Control C, select all, copy. Now let's go back to Unreal Engine, come back to this. As you can tell, we already created it and all these are blank. We're going to right click right here, paste all pose names. Bam. Now, we got to do additive. So tick the additive. And then we select right here, pass GP9 rest pose, and then convert to additive. And then we save. All right. So there's that done. Now, I'm going to go ahead and copy over one of my other characters. It's basically the same thing anyways, so it's not too big of a deal. So I'm going to go in here and right here, Control C. I just do it from here because I generally use the same one anyways. I'm still going to show you guys what to do. But I think as long as you keep all your morphs and everything the same thing, like all of mine are 771 frames, this will work just fine. You don't have to have a whole bunch of these, but if they are different or that kind of stuff, you might have to change them out. But I've not tested that, so don't hold it to me. I'm just assuming on that one. All right, so let's go ahead and do a Control V right here, and I'm going to rename this. All right, now what we're going to do is open it up. Mine's going to look a little bit different. I might even do another video on the bounce stuff, but I mean, there's not really much to it. So these are spring controllers, so boobs bounce. That's all I did. So ignore all of this. This is what we're focused on. So all this stuff should be running, and you probably have a straight line that's coming all the way from over there to here. So what you want to do is go ahead and you don't have to delete that. I will. Go to your pose asset like this. Drop her on in. And then you just plug that into there. And then plug it into this. Compile. And save. So now this is setting up the getting ready for a control rig and the and the poses for GP. So there's that done. Let's go ahead and open our character up one last time. And then what we want to do is search for post. And if everything's done correctly, this should work. And then we're looking for right here. Boop. And this is a prime example. So one of my morphs all the way in Daz, what I warned y'all about. This right here is a good example, is the reason why that happened. So this is what you see when you do it wrong, which is fine. It's going to be a quick fix for me anyways. And so I'm going to go ahead and cut over to make that fix. But there's one last step you got to do, and it's called rig. So rig, bam, and bam. You want the ones that says gens. So CR, DTH, Genesis 9, gens. And then you want to save it. I wonder what morph ended up screwing up for me. But that's all it is to it. And then from here, you can make a level sequencer, throw it in there, move the character around, make the face animations and all that stuff. Once that's all uh, fixed up, so you should be good to go. You can put it in, put your character on your blueprint. You should be good to go on that as well. But I'm going to go ahead and do a cut here, and I'll show you the final results of when it's actually working and you don't make a fuck up like this. But this is the most common thing, and that's why I warned you guys about it. This is out of 5 characters, because all it takes is the slightest little bit. So when you're making each morph, one wrong morph and stuff goes like this. Now, all right. I am back, and as you can tell, I am in the game and I'm running around and all that sort of numbers. So I have corrected it. What ended up being the problem was the clit erect. Apparently, after it got applied, when I added the other ones, I did not take it off, and that really ruined the whole thing. It had nothing to do with like arms or anything, but because I'm assuming because of how the skeleton's structured, it affected the whole body naturally. I wanted to also show you the difference because I did make mention on a little something here. So remember I said that the spile was like way too large, right? And it was like 160 some odd thousand or whatever. That's kind of like a key sign. This one's only 68,000. So if you see a large thing like that, it's probably one of those morphs. I just went ahead and did it anyways. It gave a great example on, the kind of trouble you're gonna have to, face, because then I had to go back, go to Daz. That's 8-10 minutes of export time after I found the issue, and then back to Houdini, which is another 20 minutes on an export. The good thing is when you correct it in Daz, as long as you don't change none of the names or anything, you can just load your last file, like delete the old ones naturally, but the new files that you make in Daz, keep them the same as you did, and when you load up Houdini, it'll load up the new file. So all you gotta do is hit export right after that. So, but yep, it is now corrected and fixed. I'm gonna do some other videos, probably like eyes and that sort of number. And I also wanted to make mention that materials, you can tweak the materials better than I did. I just threw them in there, but you can there are way more detailed explanations on how to mess with these materials, and you can get some really good results from it, because it might not look so good in dark versus light, that sort of number. So you have to mess around with this, and like I said, there are some good tutorials on this on YouTube already. So hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, you know what to do. Show that love, like, share, subscribe. And if you're not following me or watching me live on Rumble, head on over there, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Take care.